Guys, let's work on this. Look, if you have the seat belt and you have no hooks, can you pull me down a little bit? Can you drop on your side, Matheus? A little bit. Yeah, but don't fall, Max. Just drop. Yeah. So look, imagine like you try to pull the other person, and you kind of like you come out a little bit on the other person's back. So it's not good because the person's still on his knees, and you come out on your side. So it means like your back is not lining up on top of his back. So you have no control. You not cover his whole back. But because Matheus has no hooks, his feet is free. He can anytime get back on his feet. Do I get Matheus? Take your leg out from underneath. Look, if you fall, he can go back, you know what I mean, on this, right? So that's easy. But imagine when this happened, you already have the person's back. You already have his back, and your hook was already inside, because maybe you almost put in the second hook. Put one hook, Matheus. Just the whole foot inside. Look, he has the whole foot inside, and then he falls on his side. So now what happened, guys, look. His leg is not free. Sometimes Max can even like tied up his elbows and his knees. And his leg is not really like free to move, you know. So the problem now is like you don't have that freedom that you have before. That you can just kind of get your feet and just move around a little bit. So you have to create a moment. You have to create a position so you can go back on his back. So sometimes you put your leg very deep, Matheus, and you fall on your side. So what happened now is like Matheus, he has to work to get on his knees. Can you go on this side? He wants to on this side. No elbows on there. You see, that's what happens. So he's almost losing the back. So he has to work to get his right knee on the floor, or he has to work to get his elbow on the floor so he can climb back. Can you do that? And this is hard when the other person is leaning on you, right? But sometimes even when it's really hard and the other person is pulling you and make you fall, you know what I mean? You can use the outside leg as a rocky motion. This is outside leg. Can you exaggerate my to make it very big this rack? And that will help you like go climb his back without have to release. And I'm just showing this guys. I'm just showing you guys because when you have a good position, when you're about to finish, you can lose the position. When I try to say like you're about to make a tackle, you're about to leave, and you're about to win. Or maybe you have like a chance to make 4 points. Or maybe you already have a lot of points. And then you lose the top position, you lose a control position. That can send you all the way to the back. What I'm trying to say is like if someone is losing by a lot of points, he doesn't have nothing to lose more. He's already losing by a lot of points. And then when you lose the top position like this, he comes after you. He comes really like strong against you. And maybe you work really hard to get up there. So now you don't want to move back. So it's very important when you have a dominant position, even like you're losing control, you always can go back and try to readjust that. Can you go to the guard and I'm dragging Matheus? Back guard, please. So look, his leg was already inside that, so he didn't put the hook. But he was able to get to Marcus' back. But then Marcus like knocked him down again, you know. So what happens like Marcus is about to start roll, Marcus is about to start come up, Marcus is about to just erase the position immediately. So what Matheus has to do, like he has to one more time, hands connect, Matheus. One more time he has to keep everything tight, elbows on the floor, elbow on the floor. One more time he can just do again, Matheus. Rock his legs really hard, and just knee on the floor. So he went back and he covered the back again. Even if Marcus stand up, or even if Marcus start roll, Matheus is going to be able to just kind of like follow him and maintain the position. And that's something that like a lot of people lose the back, lose control because of a very small detail like that. What I'm trying to say, like try to keep everything tight and you just move enough. You move enough, I mean like I cannot release my seat belt. I cannot post my hand on the floor. I cannot take too long. I have to do something quick and small and like make sure I do this in time. So let's start like on the other person's back, and then you're gonna drop on your side, and you're gonna just bring yourself out. Look, Marcus is still on his knees. Matheus drop on the side. He has the seat belt, and then he's just gonna work his way to get on top without loosening up the position. So try to do all this stuff without loosening up the position. So what Matheus is doing, like he's just really rocking this to get back on his knees. He's really rocking this to get one elbow, and sometimes get back the knee. Everything without like release the seat belt. So let's start on the back. One hook deep inside. What kind of what kind of like makes a little bit hard to your leg kind of move because you feel like you already have the back, and then you just climb your way back like one or twice, and then you take a turn, and then the other person. Let's try, guys. One last change. One small adaptation of position. Who has the back taken? He's not gonna be so open like this. You know, if you open like this, like you have a lot of room. Your leg moves around. You do the same thing that you're doing outside. Your leg is just gonna move around. So who has the back take is gonna be like little tighter. So the leg doesn't have that much room to move. What I'm trying to say, like to do the move, we're gonna have to fight against the other person. So when there's no room, when there's nobody resisting, you just you go back there. There's nothing to resist. That's like it's loose. When there's a leg in between, when there's an elbow on top of your arm, you have to really kind of like open the person's like arm and knees, and just kind of you have to be stronger than him in that position. Even if you have this, you have to adjust yourself in the position. So who's on the bottom? Let him get the whole leg inside. The whole leg inside, Mateus. Drop on your side, Mateus. So take a little bit, Marcos. So who's on top now has to kind of create, Mateus. Let's go on your side, Mateus. Try to do this part. As if you really lose the position. Touch now, Marcos. Touch a little bit more, Marcos. Alright, good. That was good. So now, guys, Mateus has to do the same thing and has to move and make the other person have to kind of like open up for him. You know. So you have to force the position. Everybody understands. So now the other person is going to make it a little harder for you because he's going to be touching, and you have to move him out of the way so he can go back on top. I'm sure everybody understands like how strong is the seatbelt. The seatbelt, you have like the chance to finish the mat. You not only have the chance to finish the mat, but the person doesn't really see the attack comes. You know, it's different than the mount that you're looking and you have to the hands keep coming. But when you have a seatbelt, whenever the person like get a little bit distracted, try to get out, the hands just kind of swing and get on the neck. So we know that how important the seatbelt. But we have to understand like when we start losing the seatbelt. When the seatbelt starts to become loose and off, and then you have to adjust because we need to hold, we need to condition arms to maintain the position. But if you start losing, you cannot just be holding the position. You start losing, and then you start just holding, and then suddenly you start holding the person on the bottom, and the person's on top, and you just holding that. So we have to realize when the move start getting a little bit off, and you have to fix a little bit. You know? Can come first. Can go on your knees. So guys, I must have my chest right on the line of his shoulder. And my head can measure like with his head. And I don't want his head fast. I want to stay like this. But any moment, like we spin, can roll. Get on top, No, come back. Just keep rolling. Okay. Back. So any moment we roll, getting rolled. And I realize like I'm getting a little bit off. I don't want to just squeeze, and then the person just kind of find his way. So any moment we start to scramble, he tries scramble, he tries get out of the position, and we keep following him. And he realizes the move starts to kind of like slip out. You're not really like flat on him. You start to come out of the position. We cannot just be holding. We have to kind of like adjust. You got to catch up because probably he got a little bit ahead of the spinning. So I have my hook inside. I have one hook. I was fighting to put the second hook. I have this, and I go a little bit like off. If I just hold a little longer, maybe I'm gonna hold the position until I get tired, and then you come out. So I'm not gonna wait to make you get tired. I start to realize that I'm losing the position. So before his shoulder starts to come out, I need to get on top. But I cannot do something like this. I'm just get myself on top because I need to get on top. I get on top and I lose the position. The person recover. If he has a good guard, he recovers. If he has a good wrestling, he get back on his feet, and I'm just lose the whole position. So I have the seatbelt, but I'm a little bit off to the side. His back is not covered. The seatbelt is not doing what I'm supposed to do. So I have to get on top quick. When I say on top quick, like I have to like climb on top without take too long, without kind of break the position. So I have to climb with my seatbelt without have to release anything, without have to post my hand, without have to post my elbow. So it's most like my leg rocking, my knee pulls. If my hip is on the floor, it's hard to climb. If just my foot is on the floor, it's hard to push up. I need to put my knee quick on the floor. At the same time that I continue with the seatbelt. So I have this knee pulse. And this knee pulse, because sometimes you get on top and then he throws you back. And then you get on top and then he throws you back. So if you don't get on top and kind of like ground your weight, because that's what the knee does. That knee is not just kind of post over there, but fighting so you don't fall back again. So I'm fighting to get on top, and that knee has to get on the ground. Has to be grounded. Has to be kind of given the base to be on top. And everything to cover his back. His back cannot be like loose and moving and spinning and getting off of my control. So same thing. I have this belt. I'm a little bit on the side. Rock your leg. Knee comes out and then cover. But all these without open up this. Everything kind of like and keep tight. If I have to keep rolling, if I have to keep chasing his back, I have more chance to maintain the back than before. You know. Let's start on your knees, guys, and you just get a little bit shift to the side. You already have the grip, but you get on top without open up and without close your hand. Only use the momentum of your leg and the base of your knee. Let's try, guys. I was trying to find a place and an angle that everybody can see what I was trying to describe. But that move can kind of like slide off either way. Sometimes you can be too high and then your hips on the floor. Sometimes you can be falling on the floor, but then your knees still on the floor. So depending on how off you're going. Like I'm feeling, I don't even have to touch my shoulder, my hair on the floor. Like just a little bit. Like I know I need to just kind of come up on top. Sometimes you can really feel the ground. He has his elbow, but if his elbow is not on the floor, I can really feel the floor. So everything kind of slightly change a little bit. But the most important, his shoulder cannot come out. His shoulder cannot come out. I need to keep a lot like pressure on the shoulder. Don't let the shoulder kind of come out. So, and now, if you get to one point over here, guys, the first to start turn to roll, and then you see opportunity of the neck. You know, he's going to try and move. If you see opportunity of the neck, just go forward. And you're not necessarily going to have his back, but if you have his neck from his back, you're going to be good. So, for example, if I get on top and he stops, and I got his neck over here, I don't really need the seatbelt. I don't really need to kind of like, not even like I go to a full throw, but as long like his back doesn't go on the mat, I'll be good. So if you see the neck open, especially he's going to try roll. If you have a chance to get his neck, just lock his neck. So after you get on top and the person start roll, you see the neck open, just go forward. So I have this. So I have this, and I just go forward. And then this hand, I don't want to have this hand on top. I want to have this hand in between. If I wasn't able to get this hand over here, just lock in like a tight choke without have to go on your biceps. And as you lock him, now you can keep pulling. But let's just finish with the choke from there. Guys, I just want to make sure you guys don't get your arm tired. Once you get your arm tired like that and lose the position. Your arms can be fatigued, but you should not lose the position because your arms are tired. Because you always like work in a good position that is supposed to give the submission, supposed to get you ahead of the mat, or at least like making you like have to defend something, and then he give you like the the chance to submit him. But I have the seat belt, and I don't have the second hook. And he's protecting the second hook. I have a good seat belt over here. I'm not off. I'm really controlling him, but I don't have the second hook. So if I don't have the choke and I don't have the second hook, like I'm still not doing anything on his back. So I have to get one or the other. And sometimes if you try to put the hooks, he open the neck. So who knows? You know? So I have this, and he's really controlled like that. He's like, and I'm trying stretching. I have to stretch, but I cannot lose it. I'm trying to stretch, I'm not losing. And then sometimes I can open this and just right, and just throw the leg over, right? And I'm doing this like with my legs connect so I don't lose him. Because it's very common if he stretches out, it will just split out. So I want to stretch him, I want to arch my back and really get him open so he cannot crunch it and protect that. So he can have his elbow tuck in. Just take the elbow tuck. So I can just do this and take the leg over. He can close with his hand underneath. What makes it really hard to really break his grip. It's really hard to break his grip, but at least if you open a little bit, you can kind of like walk your foot inside, right? So he does again. So I cannot break his connection. I can put my foot in just kind of really just walking, right? He's got to go one or the other. I can throw my leg over, or I can just go inside his armpit. But each one has to open a little bit. But you get to the point that you get over here and you start really open up a little bit. You start really do this, and then he starts feel because the hook doesn't really shoot in once. He starts feel, and right when he starts feel, he grab your foot, other hand, and then he push that out. You know, so that's very common. Like he's hiding, he's protecting, and then once your foot starts hitting, he just come and start pull your hook out. So one of the other, and I mean, he'll maybe try. So stretch, start walk with this, and his hand goes right there. It's common. If he's not right, I can just throw my leg over, and then I put the hook, right? But maybe he'll try to control your foot. He'll control your foot like this, he'll control your foot like that, but he'll not let your foot move as much. So if that happens, you have to just do something. Stretching, start walk with this. If it goes there, my hand goes right here and control his wrist. Control his wrist, just feeling his hand out, and I'll just put my foot inside with his arm in. Okay. So I can do this with his arm in. I can do this without my hook. I can do this just tuck my knee behind. Can you see that side? I can tuck my knee behind with his hand stuck in between. Just do something like this. So now he doesn't have hand to protect his neck. He doesn't have his arm to protect the second hook. Can you tuck him? Tuck him. And then obviously, you just go walk over there. And then, because he doesn't have the second hand, I can go there and just get the choke. He has this one to control, right? So who is avoiding the second hook, guys? Once your foot start walking, just grab that. And guys, don't kick your foot up, because if you kick, it's hard to find his hand. So he's grab your foot, go there and just take his hand out. I can put my foot in and start with the choke. I can keep his leg in and his arm in, just put my leg on top. Just take advantage of the position. That's what I guess. Not everybody does that, but maybe someone taller or maybe a little bit more flexible. I can keep everything like a tuck in, but he still can kind of move his hip off. When I say move his hip, like everything is inside, but then he just turn his hip off and get on his knees there. So I kept like the back, I kept this, so I don't want to just stretch him. So I'll still tuck him. I still keep like my chin close to his shoulder. But then I don't want to just swing my leg over, you know what I mean? Because maybe I can just not make the hook, my leg maybe short, or maybe the guy just too big. So I will not do something like this. I will just put myself back on top. When I say put on top, it's not because I want to put the second hook, because it's not good to get over here and start to let the hook stand up. And then he picks you up, you know? So you don't want to just put your weight on him. When you get someone's back, you don't want to put the weight on him. you want to get him like more on the ground than yourself on top and let him shake you. Especially without the second hook, you don't want to have someone stand up with you on his back if you don't have the second hook. So, who's over here, guys? Just turn out. So instead of the hook, this one comes in. This give a little bit push, and the bottom leg gets commanded. The bottom leg, that's the one that secures me on top. So it turns. So I don't have the second hook. The bottom leg is the one that can stabilize the position. And also like my elbow. I cannot put my hands together on top, but I can use my elbow to turn the position. Now instead of the second hook, I'll pull him down again. Pull him down again, kind of stretching, keep him open. And who knows, like maybe you can swing the hook at once, or maybe he tries me again, and then you can try to do the same thing again, just like before. So one or the other. But let's do this, guys. You're able to trap his arm. You're able to trap his arm. Maybe you keep his arm inside of your leg, just over. Control the hand, and just like the other hand, the one that is not going to choke, stay tucking. He's protecting his neck. The one that is not going to choke is going to open up with my back. I'm still arching just to get him open, just like before, and just like go straight to choke. Maybe I got his elbow inside. My knee is not even. I'm not even putting the hook. Can you check him? He's still like this. But it's the same thing. I pull and just straight to the choke. Let's sit up again. Guys, you can always go to the rear and choke, but this is just faster. Faster. Like I'm not pulling with my elbow underneath his chin. My elbow like goes right on his shoulder. So let's get the tilt him back on the ground, and let's finish with the choke right after. I wish to keep him like on the side that I have my arm on top of the shoulder. But if he decides to go to the other side, I believe he has more chance to escape. But once he has a chance to escape, he tries more escape and then he may be opening more his neck. So this side, I don't think he's going to escape that easy. But maybe he's going to just protect himself a little bit better because he can't escape that easy. On the other side, sometimes he protects himself, but then when he tries to escape, he exposes himself a little bit more. But I have to make sure his head doesn't touch the floor, right? So even he try to put the head over there, and if you keep my head underneath, right? And then I go there. I don't think like we can start the choke with two hands connect. I don't think we start with that. Usually you get one hand, and then you figure out to get the other hand, or maybe you get one hand, and then you figure out to go the other hand. So most of the time you have to at least get one hand inside. So the top hand hold the hand on that side, and the bottom hand hold the hand on the same side. So just keep that, right? We have this. So you hold the person's hand. You don't necessarily need to hold the wrist. I even like to hold his hand so he cannot really grab my wrist that easy. So I kind of hold his hand so he doesn't have that much like a grip. So I'll try to hold a little bit close the hand. And then whenever I see his neck is a little bit open, I go there and just kind of like sneak up and get this hand. But it's very common. As soon as I put this hand, he puts that same hand on top of my hand. Right? So as soon as I release this one, I go to his neck, but the hand comes straight. So I have to get used to, I don't think I can finish if he has his hand. I can try, but I think this hand is going to be strong. So I'm going to have to release this one and go over here. But if I release it and take too long, soon his both hands is definitely going to break through the hand of his neck. So once I do this hand, he makes the hand. I have to go the other and block the second hand. The hand comes. I have to block this one. At the same time, that kind of like brush off the first hand. And then I manage to connect the second hand quick. Usually, if I have the hand on the shoulder, I'll just go to straight. So just like this straight. If your hand maybe went a little bit deeper and went a little bit like on his like a backbone and on his shoulder blade over there, now he can go behind. If my elbow is closer to his chin, so now I can go to a rear neck choke, right? But most of the time, if I do this hand and it's like just on the shoulder blade on the shoulder over here, I can just move straight back. But let's get used to this. I'm control. I'm waiting. Maybe now he's trying to go to the other side. That'll be a good time. As soon as my hand makes his neck, I have my finger digger right on his shoulder blade, and I make sure he's not pulling my arm down. But I'm feeling the pressure. He's pulling, but I found a good grip on his shoulder blade. I don't think he's gonna break this. But now, as soon as I release this, I know the hand's gonna come. So I block the hand at the same time that I scrape kind of both hands. And I'm not letting him grab my hand. I'm not letting him grab this hand now, because I'm probably not going to be able to finish. So after I scrape one, after I block the second one, I scrape the first one, and I go straight to the choke. And keep everything tight. Keep everything tight when you go to the choke. I don't think you don't have to squeeze too hard in there, because I want you guys just focus on the hand fighting over there. But after you connect, make sure you keep everything tight. You don't have to squeeze and make the other person has to tap quick, because that's usually probably what you're going to have to do. But I want you guys to be very precise on the grip fight. Let's try to memorize all the steps, Because everything seems like not that much in a rush, because he just opened a little bit, you know what I mean? I'm just going to just step through, step through his neck. One little opening, that's enough. Take a little bit, and then he open a little. That's enough. But I know his hand is coming. So I'm not in a rush. And I'm controlling the time. So he's holding. I know he's resisting. So whenever I feel I'm ready, I release this one, I start fighting that one. Start fighting that one quick. So I'm kind of basically controlling the time. I'm not even racing that much. I feel like since I'm controlling the time to start, I'm ahead. But if I'm over here and he's not opening his neck, now it's a little bit more of a race, because I'm going to release and I don't have his neck. So I'm going to move him over here, I'm going to release, and I don't have his neck. So now I'm going to have to gain time to open this, and then his hand probably is going to make through my hand, and I have to pull this out and go back to the other hand. So he's tucking. I get here, he makes through my hand. Before he pulls, I come with this hand, start scrape this one, and then he's going to go with the other hand. I push the other hand, and I keep digging under his neck. So a little bit more race now, because now we're both fighting at the same time. So before I release and I start again, now I don't have his neck in yet. So I have this. As soon as I feel, if he's complete touching, I don't have to go. I can almost kind of feel like I can move him up a little bit, and then I start going over there. And then as soon as he pulls his hand, I pull the other hand and fight with the top one. I pull this hand, fight with the top one, and then try to make it over there again. Once I make it over there, both hands going to come quick. And then I go there and start to kind of push that off. So basic, I'm doing the same thing, but I don't have his neck yet. And that's what kind of makes much tighter on your arm. Because now you have to fight both hands, he's pulling and then keep fighting. And then once you make over here, you're back to what we did before. But now you have to fight to open his neck. And that's why you have to usually kind of get your arm strong. That's what kind of is the edge that you feel like you have more than the other person, because you can fight that long. Almost like you can fight two hands with one hand. You can fight one up, brush the other, and then keep digging the other. I can fight with two hands, but if this one, it's weak. Every time he touches my hand, gets out of his neck, so it's not doing the job. So I have to keep open once he's fighting both hands, and then you just go back to it. The other person may be working to get your hands out, and you start opening, and then you just take my hand. But then you get under his neck. There's a many situations you can get under his neck. Doesn't mean you have the choke, but you're able to get your hand under the neck, and most likely you have to secure it. It's not just because it's under his neck that it's like it's going to be that. I would like to secure on the back of his shoulder. There's a bone over here, like his shoulder blade, that you can just kind of like, I don't know if you even shoulder blade that you can call it, but there's a gap over here that you can really kind of dig up your finger and try to maintain that. But
for most likely you have the choke, you want to connect your hands just to have like a normal choke. Like you can get this, or you can get this. You know what I mean? So if you don't have the other hand, sometimes the other person he don't mind to open up his neck, but then he feels everything's fine as long as he's holding his hand, and then you don't have this hand. But I think he's wrong because even like you have one hand, you should be able to start to choke him. Maybe not making tap, but just start the choke. And my point is, I have this hand. He's not open up anymore. His neck's not relaxed. But I started pressing. I started pressing because I need the other hand out. And if I just keep the hand over here, I'm not choking. He's not gonna let go of this. Especially if he put a lot of weight on his arm over here. All his weight on his arm, he's not gonna let go of that. You know? But if you start choking, if you really start choking, I'm pretty sure sooner or later he's going to start to need some help of his hands there. And that's the whole idea. But maybe the person said, that's good. Maybe he just let it go. Or at least like he's going to start to move out of the position. And then that's supposed to give you some freedom to just free your arm. You know? So you walk over there, he's walking the choke, he got his neck, but then your other hand stuck. I want you guys just work together one hand to start choking. Not everybody will tap, but I believe you can build a good energy from it. And since we've been working a lot of seatbelt, I'm pretty sure this arm work a lot of seatbelt, but this one is start working most like just when you go to the choke. That's when this one start really working. So we have to make sure you do like the right choke and you not waste energy or not losing position. Because getting here, the other person take your hands out, you know, and then just keep getting there, and you, or maybe you hold, but then he tuck his chin inside. That takes a lot of energy. So we have to make sure we don't waste energy. So to make sure this arm is working, when you do this choke, I'm not picking his head up. I'm just gonna pull my arm down, and that's how I'm hoping to choke him. That's why I'm hoping to kind of like start making you feel like he has to open up something. So, guys, when you get this hand, it's the same thing of this. It's the same thing, but without the help of this hand. And what I'm really forcing is my arm against his neck, and try to really maintain the pressure to get to his blood vein and try to stop that. You know. So instead of like pull sideways, I just push straight back. My elbow is lower, but I'm trying to put my elbow on the same line of my hand. But I cannot bring this hand down. You know? I have to bring the elbow back. But I cannot do this and pulling his head out of his neck. I have to just go against it. I don't go against his jaw. You know. I make sure like I'm going against only his neck and also like you can be wrong putting pressure on his collarbone. You know? I'm not trying to break his collarbone. So make sure like your hands slide over his collarbone and just go against his neck. And you cannot make it tap in one movement, but you have to just maintain that. And that's supposed to be enough to make the other person start to feel like I'm just getting out of air. I need to just start moving, and that should lead you to maybe connect a choke or maybe he tap. You know. So since you're gonna work like a very slow choke now, guys, just be careful, you guys don't pass out. All right. So just kind of just watch yourself. That's what a lot of work for just one hand, you know what I mean? That's going to be like all energy just on back, you know? And depending on the situation, sometimes you can make to the neck when you just jump over his back. And it's not because you don't have the other hand, you're going to let go of the choke. Even if you kind of like, you're still making the hooks, still rolling, scramble, you know what I mean? Like you have one hand, that hand should be able to hold on that. Should be able to. Not that I was working. Sometimes you slip out. You can slip out of the position, but you gotta try to make that hand kind of hang that. You know? And based on that, I was just trying to figure out like a situation to practice a movement without being too imaginary. You don't want to have to imagine too much just so you can build something. So let's imagine just this. I measure his neck. I still have this hand stuck. Maybe he just stuck his hand, maybe you can connect your hands. Sometimes you just hold his own hand, you know, and that makes it really hard to get your hand out. He doesn't even have to hold the other hand. And then you have the neck, or maybe he using his hands to get out of the come back, get out of the hooks. Doesn't matter which side. Maybe you don't have the hooks. But let's imagine like a situation that is not that hard to happen because you have the choke and the other person just got your hooks out. And then he's escaping. So usually, guys, instead of just go back here and try to put the hook, what doesn't really give you that much angle to choke me, especially when I don't have this hand. I don't want to just go back over there. If I already lose the hooks, guys, I will maintain the same position. I'll walk away from him, belly down. I'll get myself kind of like a stable on top. When I mean stable, like I'm not with my belly on the mat, like when I did the position. And then from here, I'll try and maintain that. Because the angle that you can pull him and your weight on the back of his neck, that will going to help you choke. Not only you pull him, but then you just kind of punch him down. But maybe you feel like he got the hooks out, he's escaping. I don't need the hooks to maintain the choke. I have a belly down. Maybe you think I can just stay here. Yeah, but I'm not stable. My belly on the mat, I don't have the angle to even connect my hands. So get back on top, stand him up, and then just try to maintain the position from him. Guys, one last thing. I don't know if everybody has felt that. Some people tap, some people didn't tap. Doesn't matter. But I want you guys to feel they can maintain the squeeze. You don't have to make the other person tap, but you have to maintain the squeeze. So even if he didn't tap, you maintain the squeeze. So don't try just give a yank and like, he didn't tap, and then let go. Try build a squeeze that you can maintain. Try to figure out how much your arm can sustain in a good amount of time. So like if you have the seatbelt, one side you control and you attack, and the other side you just control. But this side is the one that he's going to try to take the most. Probably like he's going to open up more his neck going towards the side. Because the other side, he doesn't want to really open his neck because I have my arm just waiting for his neck. So if you keep someone on this side, if you just keep him over here, we have to try to get the attack set up. I can do this, control his hands. I can do this from the seatbelt. But I was like, I always going to control the bottom hand because that's the side that I have my hands free. So I'm going to try to go over there. Get the control of his hands. Probably he already feel like he's in an advantage because he has one arm trap. I have both arms free. I have one arm control and he still have one hand to work on his neck. So now I'm going to just lift his head. As soon as I lift his head, if you release, he's going to close. So you have to get this before. And I release his head and catch my hand on the other side. So I control his hand, he takes his neck, I lift, catch my hand on the other side. And then we just try to finish it. Remember that I lay down on this side, I have the arm on top of the shoulder because I have more control. But that gives me the chance to just trap one of his arms. I don't think I can trap the bottom arm because his bottom arm is too close to the mat and my leg is also with all his weight on top. So this is the only leg I have free. If I don't want to do the seatbelt, I can manage to control both hands. That was going to be a little bit ahead, but obviously now if he starts escaping over here, I'm in trouble. I'm probably going to end up losing the position. So if you manage to control his both hands, make sure you really keep him close to you. Don't let his slide out to the side. So you just stay tight. Push one hand. My arm is strapped, so I have to free my hand almost at the same time. My hand goes over there, lift, and finish the choke. I do just straight choke because that's faster. And faster because I don't have to sink my whole arm in. I don't have to release again. So as soon as I pull this, I just lock one hand on top of the other. And just pull it straight. Not sideways, not cranky. Just pull it straight back. Let's go try it, guys. On one side, he's still more control. It's even a little bit harder to control his leg. But if he goes to the other side, it's easy to control his arm. Actually, it's easy to find his neck open because he's trying to escape more towards the side. The other side is more defending because there's not much escaping there. But he's still fighting to escape, so you have to be more careful. So maybe you have the seatbelt already. Maybe you have his both hands, but it doesn't change. Your head stay under his head every time he goes there. Every time he tries to get his head on the mat, his shoulder on the mat, you keep your head tucking. Keep your head kind of under his head. And then you start working on the rest. Just like we did before. I have to be more focused to keep his head away from the mat. On the other side, my arm is already under his head. Now there's no arm under his head. My arm is under his armpit, so I have to be focused to keep my head over there. I push. I have the hooks. Maybe I don't have the hooks. Maybe I have just over here. Just push. Now I can try to open this, but just like we did before, maybe you need a little extra pull. So I give this hand one more time to the other side, and then I cap his head up. I don't think I can keep his head up. I'm gonna lift and go back under again. Now, guys, as soon as I release this, he can easily spin and spin. Right there on top, so he can easily do that if you don't focus on holding him. So I do this. I have this control. I have this control from the beginning. I switch for both control. I can even hold this a little tight. You guys see, it's almost like a Kimura grip on him. But I'm about to make the move. I keep my head tucking. I pull his head. He's probably going to start sliding out. But if he's sliding out instead of pulling his head, if he's really stuck, you just kind of like get under him. Get under his head before he touches his head on the mat. Now, guys, he went too far. I feel like he's too much out. Probably you're going to keep him on top. So from here, I can easily pull him back on top. This gives you a good hold. You can pull him each time you want after you get his neck. If something happened, he kind of went too far. Let go of him. Let go of him. Let go of him. Don't try to keep him on top of it because he's coming out. So you get out too, but then you just maintain the choke. You just finish from here, you know what I mean? And everybody knows like this angle is like I was better, you know what I mean? But it's just one more step. You don't want to have to do all the steps. And then obviously you just keep pulling to finish. One more time, guys. I have the seat belt. I can control this hand. Control the other hand. Trap. Control this. I'm going to pull. Pick it. Maybe after you pull, maybe he opened his head already. Maybe he feels, I'm going to escape. And then just go there. But obviously, like, my head has to be under. I've been talking to you guys, so my head is too high. But as soon as I pull it, he starts. My head is stay under him. With this grip, guys, you can pull him. You can definitely keep your arm straight across his shoulders. Your arm's going to just straight there. Not this, not that, just straight back. That's what's right, guys. We did everything right. We trapped this, we trapped that, and he touched his neck. Sometimes the other person already starts escaping quick. If he tries to escape quick, I don't have no reason to pull his head. If he starts going, no, don't open that much. Just keep touching. Yeah. If you feel his neck open, you don't have to open. You can just go there, but you don't wait till his head touches the mat. You know, your head has to be there. So if he open his neck, without you have, as soon as he open his neck, you can kind of try to keep him there. You know, without you have to open. If he's open, you don't reach there, so you're already just think you're on him. But the hand helps to open the neck. But if you get here and the guy touch his neck, he just touch his neck. And he's not really trying to escape. I'm pulling, he's not really trying to escape. Guys, there is a point here that it's fine if you pull and it's not open and he's escaping. You know, he starts. You not open his neck. You cannot wait to get all the way on top and you realize you can't open his neck. The open has to be quick. It's just like a one leg. But you have to open his neck. You have to pick up. If the other person touching and he still tries to escape, there's the time to just go both hands. Both hands and try just get a lift on his neck. And I pull, he touches his neck. Two hands go right there. He's still escaping. But then he just striking. This is the other person's heavy. Or maybe he's just a little more fresh and he's not opening his neck.
You just do one hand is not pulling, two hands go right there. Probably he still have one hand to defend him. But one hand doesn't cover all the sides. One hand doesn't really cover everything. One hand it's going to be one place and you go to the other place. One hand is going to be here, you go to the front. His neck is open, but his hand is on the way. Does that make sense? So his hand is on the way. His hand is on the way. You can just tuck him under. Put on the other side. His neck is open. Go on the front. So if you put the hand on this side, you go on that side, right? And you have to try go through. If his hand is on the other side, hand goes right from the front. And it's open because you hold there. But obviously, still tuck your head under. Maybe you end up here. You guys can see my elbow is pointing down. So in the end, your elbow just, I'm not squeezing, but in the end, your elbow just point on the line of his shoulder. Guys, every time you have someone's back, I want to have everything kind of like a tight. The same way how I keep like my elbow like tucked in, I keep my elbow tucked in. I gotta keep my hooks tucked in too. I don't want to be like my hooks are kind of extended because it's not going to be hooked. It's going to be just kind of extended leg. So I want to just keep everything tight, just in case the other person reach for my foot. So I'm going to make it really hard to just kind of stay tucked in and not just kind of relax about. So just hold this. Same thing like when you have like one hook. I cannot let his hips slide over my hook. The one that has one hook, I'm kind of like a diggy. I don't know if everybody can see, like, I only have my hook kind of ship. And now, sometimes when I have my hook, I can even cross over here. And I have a short leg, so the whole time I have just kind of pull him just to keep everything tight. Just to keep tight. And this always like it's when the other person escape, when you're in a transition, when you look for a solution, you just keep everything tight. You're not wrestling, you're working when the other person tries to escape. But in that meantime, I have the seat belt. Once I open this, I have to keep like everything tight. The same way how I pull this, I just kind of tuck in my ties and just keep that tight. I'm gonna look for to trap one of his arms. And I'm going to trap the arm from the arm that is on top of the shoulder. I'm not going to trap the arm that I have the arm under his armpit. I'm going to use the arm that I have on top of the shoulder. So I'm going to just push. He has both hands stuck in. I'm going to just kind of push, almost like a punching. I'm going to just punch and trap with my leg. The same way how I'm tucking, I'm pulling. And that's what makes like his arm stay. If my legs relax, he can just kind of take his arm out. One more time, I'm kind of tucking. I don't have that much time. Soon his hand is going to come out. In that meantime, when his hand is coming out, I'm working his neck. And I hope I can get it finished. Once you trap the person's arm, you have one hand as an advantage. You have one hand to finish him. And he has no defense besides keeping his chin down. So I have to give everything to just kind of get under his chin. I feel like it's about to win a match. It's about you get under his chin or not. So it's everything about like make my hand get under his chin. Once my hand make under his chin, I lift and I go across the other way. So once you trap the person's arm, it's everything about like just beating his chin. You have to give everything to beat his chin. He keep his chin down. I have to make sure like, I cannot go over. I have to make sure I dig under. So once I trap, make sure I go under. If I have time, I can go all the way and do like a full rear neck choke. If I don't have time, my hand make to his shoulder. He starts escaping his hand there. I know his hand is about to make to my hand. So if I don't have time and I walk over here, I have to just go straight back and tuck in. Right? So I punch, so I walk. If I don't have time, just go straight. So I can choose if I have time to do this. If I don't have time, I have to go straight to the choke. So I do this, I don't know if everybody remember, but before you have to really turn the key on your car, so it's kind of the same thing, really digging. Once I get under, put my hand flat, I'll lift, and just go straight. Let's go try, guys. Guys, I break in the position because I want everybody to go over every little detail, because you have to be very precise and contain. Contain, like the person is going to be trying to escape, he's going to try to kind of yank his arm out, so you have to really kind of like contain him, don't let him move too much. He try shift his shoulder, he try get away off like the hand, so you have to kind of just keep him in place. So try really overnight everything to kind of like stay tense. When you trap, you're like just focus and have him like stable, so you can just kind of keep poking his chin, just finding his chin open. I don't know if you guys ever thought about like sometime when he tucks his chin, if I go to the side, he turns. He turns, and then sometimes I guess if you have a long arm, you can just go over. If the guy has a big head and you have a long arm, he's not going to make it. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to depend on that. My arm is short, and sometimes your arm is tired. I prefer of the pin of the choke than to have like a strong arm, a long arm, or maybe the other person don't be so strong. So I depend to get under his neck. But I did everything. I punched, and I have to beat his chin. So I don't want to help him turn, because once he turns, his chin kind of like stuck on his shoulder, and he pretty much hide his neck. I try to get under, and now doesn't really work. I have to almost kind of pull and try to like go back. So I don't want to help him like to bring the shoulder to the side. If I get over here and like it's not working, I just switch. I just switch and like I catch with the cross hand. Now I have one hand free, not to choke. This hand free to open. And once I open, I have the choke. And this is kind of a little bit like a race, because once I release this, I'm gonna get in, and then he's gonna try to get into my hand. So this has to be like a race. So once I pull this, I have to get in and connect at the same time. So I'm releasing and try to connect at the same time before he makes to my hand. Okay? But every time you do this, he start moving, He wants to move. He wants to kind of like, you have to keep everything kind of like hold him in place so you can make everything, and then you can go to the choke. So what I'm trying to say, like when you're about to finish, he can't be moving. You have to hold him tight. Just kind of like, you need to get to his neck before he makes a big move. So try to keep everything kind of tense and not relaxing. So he can't have a break. He can't like breathe in the position. You have to just kind of get everything done without letting him move too much. And that's when it comes apart. You have to hold everything tight. But that time has to be quick. Once you release, you catch the neck, because he's going to try to catch your hand. And one more time. So he has a very strong neck and head. And like, so don't think you can hold his head open. Don't think you're going to be here and just kind of keep his neck open. It's almost going to be like just one move, and that one movement, that's enough. It's very close, but just enough so you make your hand there. Once you make your hand there, you're going to have it. So it's just like a quick yank so his neck comes up. That's what I guess. Guys, it's a lot of practice and a lot of like a resistance to be able to kind of keep the guy in, like hold the guy in like so he cannot like get a break. He cannot have like move. But it's everything about the finish. Like it's like your left hand. If you keep everything organized, you're done. You can go rest. You're done. You finished. So that's how I feel like when you coordinate everything. It's just like I'm gonna give everything. I'm about to finish. I know I'm gonna finish. So let me give everything. I'm just gonna hold everything tight and just kind of like don't give up, don't release, don't get loose, and like finish before he escapes. It's kind of like that. But everything starts from the beginning. Like from the beginning, he has his arm tucked in. I make that grip and I punch and I trap his arm. But then sometimes like you punch in the wrong time and then he pulls back and then he cannot get his hand low anymore. Now he's like or maybe you miss. You almost trap and then you miss and then now he knows what you want. So now you're gonna have to go around. You cannot just go in the same direction. You're gonna have to go around to get there. So he's trying to escape. I keep everything tight, So I'm switch the hand to the cross hand. And cross hand, I'm hoping to get the other cross hand too. But most like just the one that I want to trap. I want to trap this one. I'm just give the cross hand. So now once I cross, I can push his hand much lower now. I can push his hand lower because the hand is underneath his arm. But then it's going to be like a little bit like I have to release the seatbelt and go across. Across is much farther. It's not the same side. I have to kind of go across. So sometimes you have time to grab the other hand, but then you don't care. Just still walk over there. And then you have this now. So once you trap there, you have this. I'll keep this on again, just like the last time. And I'll keep everything up and go to the top. So if you, maybe it's a little bit flexibility. You don't have the flexibility to reach. You don't have the flexibility to reach like a higher on him. So get to this point, switch the hand, start pushing. You trap there, trap this arm. That's the only arm left, and then we do the last move there. Just the last move. But guys, I said it was a race. He strikes escape. I'm trying to keep you over here. He strikes at his back on the mountain. Try to keep over here. So once he opens the race. So once I release this, I know he's going to try to get to my hand at the same time. So I have to be quick. We have no time to do. I didn't say that, but I said in the beginning we can do rear neck choke. But in the second we can do rear neck choke. Rear neck choke kind of takes a long time. You have to go all the way. You have to reach your bicep, or it's much farther than your hand. Your hand can just get over here. Your bicep, you have to make to your bicep. So there is no rear neck choke when you're in a race to finish. So when you do this, you got it. Just quick, and his head cannot touch the floor. His head has to be on top of your shoulder, your chest, under, with your head underneath. Just try to do this quick this time. To get a hold of something, you have to scrunch. But then to get out, you have to breathe. You have to open up. You have to kind of like really move yourself out of that. And we have to get used to get a hold. We got to get used to kind of just control something. You got to use to kind of get a hold. And that's hard. Flexibility, everything. So we have to constantly practice this. So our body doesn't give up in the middle of like a big move, in the middle of like a strong move that we need like a resistance. Like I want to get a hold of someone. If I'm gonna go sweep, I open it up. Probably not gonna move the other person. If I get really close and I really like a momentum and I stay like tight, and probably I'm gonna take it high. So everything kind of like depends on a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of this, a lot of lift, a lot of pull. Instead of just pushing, when you try to get out, you push it. When you try to bridge, you open, you open up, So based on that, Mateus, sit here, Mateus. Sit down, please. If you have a seatbelt, you have to keep everything tight. I don't want to be loose. I don't like extend because it's easy to come out. So everything has to be kind of like pulling him tight. Even if it's just even if it's just one hook, I'm pulling tight. If I can even lock it because it's just like it's close and it's tight. But when I'm looking to control his hands, I cannot be open again. I have to keep everything tight. I'm keep everything tight. And in one move, I'm going to try punch his hand down. Maybe his hand a bit. Punch his hand down. And I'm going to do towards the side down to control the arm on top of the shoulder. The other side of the arm is underneath, but if I can, punch and get a hold of this. From this position, I'm going to start almost like I turn the key of a car. I'm going to start here, just start walk to get inside. It's not just my thumb, it's not my wrist, it's like this part in between. So I'm going to just force there and really try to get it. Once I get under, I start lift. Start lift and start moving forward. Lift, moving forward. Lift, moving forward. Lift, moving forward. Once I get the deepest possible, I can pull my arm and land towards that side that I'm control his arm. And just kind of squeeze that. If something happens, I'm doing this, and then he escapes, he pulls his hand up, I don't wait to go so deep. I start from here. Instead of go deep all the way to do the rear neck choke, if something gets in a hurry, I don't have that much more time, I just push straight back. Even though I'm stretching this, I'm kind of keeping my legs kind of tight the whole time. So let's get used to Get everything tight. And once you reach for this, you have one more time. Pull really close to you, really close. I don't have this flexibility. But when I need it, I can throw it. I can throw it and just kind of catch it. I don't have to hold it. I don't have to maintain it. So just kind of one time. One time. I have the seatbelt. Put his hand. Keep everything tight. I'm going to punch. And I'm in the middle. I'm not side. I didn't have to use the side yet. I'm going to punch. The side that I have the arm on top of the shoulder. It's kind of like a reach. And like I don't want to trap my hand. So as soon as I reach, I let go. And they start going for this. I'm going for this. Once I get inside, lift, lift, lift. Go deep to the choke. I have two hands control. I can do the other side too. A little bit more complicated, not that common. But I cannot show him which arm I'm going to trap. So I keep everything tight, keep everything tight. When I know I have the right angle, one move. If I show him I'm going to push and then he pull back, now he's not going to let push anymore. So I cannot show him and just go back. And then start walking it. Lift, lift, lift. Once that went out of the way, I can go to the choke. Let's go try, guys. Guys, right off bat, when a lot of you guys start, you guys just went kind of sloppy and just kind of throw the hand and go you have to be very precise because the person knows what's coming. You know what I mean? I don't think he's thinking about to me attack his ankle or anything like that. He knows I want his neck when you have someone's back like this. Maybe he can start to set up something like this. Maybe he can start thinking about arm ball something. But if you have this, most concern he has is on his neck. So you cannot show him. So you have to have everything set up. When you're ready, when you feel I feel strong with this, I have a good grip, have to be quick. Has to be quick. And now I cannot just be sloppy again because now I have his neck. We have to get very resistant on that. When I say resistant, I cannot be kind of be loose over here. You know, it has to be really kind of dig in. When I say dig in, I don't want to cross his neck. I don't want to go cross face. I don't want to get my arm tired. I have to get on his neck. To this point over here, guys, it's you against his team. You just need to be his team. You need to just kind of once you get your hand there, oh, I won. I'm going to finish. His neck is open. His arm is strapped. Once you get this, you know you got him. So everything to get here. And once you get here, you start working everything because now it's just keep everything kind of under control. And then once you make your hands to the other side, you can go to the finish. So have to have everything kind of precise and very careful to don't lose the position. But like I said, it's me against his chin, and I hope I can be strong enough to kind of beat his chin with my arm. But sometimes your hand is a little bit tired. Sometimes the guy is actually stronger than you. You know what I mean? And then you end up I don't have this. His hand is coming out. You know what I mean? He's finding his way to get. Once his hand comes out, he's gonna pull my arm out. And I'm sure he's not supposed to give the same thing twice. I'm sure this setup over here is not gonna do it again. You know what I mean? So once I get over here and I realize man, he's not moving. That hand that was gonna choke, hold his hand. Hold the hand just so I have the other hand free. And I'm gonna do everything again. Even if he's sweaty, I kind of dry out and then I go on his head. And everything just to kind of one more time beat his chin. But now I have my whole arm. I'll make a grip. Just one move. Just a very, very small move, but strong. He's strong because he's still strong. He's not gonna open his neck all the way so he's gonna be just kind of a little kind of open and that meantime your hand has to get in. Once you open that a little bit, your hand has to get in. One more time, I'm going to have to be quick now. Because if I let go his body hand, and I don't grab my hand, he grabbed my hand. So once I let go of this, I have to connect quick. And everything a very precise, and one more time, tiny. I know I just need to be his chin. Once I get my hand on his chin, everything has to just kind of connect, and then I'm done. We're done. We can finish the mat. So the other person, I'll just keep your chin tucked, and who's in the back, just kind of one pull. You don't hold his neck. Probably not going to be able to hold his neck. So just one pull, one kind of pick on his neck and your hand has to feed him. But feed him and then connect to the other hand, because now you're in a rush. Let's see like this. It's you against his chin. Once you open his chin, like you have the fight, you can go home, you can relax, you're done. So everything to really kind of like really reinforce to get his neck open. But everything that we did now was just to get to the next position. Remember what I said, like you gotta keep yourself tucked in. You cannot be like loose, you cannot be like falling out. And the reason why, because you're gonna stand up, you know what I mean? And once you stand up, you have his back. You have his back. I cannot be like falling. I cannot be like loose. I have to be climbing. I have to stay kind of tucked in. And the tuck in not because I'm looking to stay there. I'm looking to reach for his arm. I'm looking to get a hold of his arm. So if I get to the point over here, remember I can never go to his back if he's holding my hand. If he's holding my hand, I cannot go to his shoulder. So I'll do everything. I'll pick him up. I'll try to trip him. Any moment his hands come out of my, moment his hand come out of my hand, that's the time I'm gonna jump. Once I jump in, I cannot be like this. I have to be really high. High with my seat belt, high with my hook, and keep everything kind of crunchy here. We're not supposed to stay here too long. We're supposed to kind of, I need to get the finish, I need to get over, I need to kind of move quick. Even though the person, he doesn't want to hold you too long over here. For him to get out, he has to go to the ground. He has to roll. If he stay up, if he's just walking here, he's just like losing time. If you're not tight, if you're not off, if you have a tight control, he's going to have to go to the ground. So I jump into that. So now when he does that, I'm falling, So I have to constantly be like a climb. If you put his weight forward, that's good. I don't have to use energy. But once he falls up, you have to keep climbing. You cannot be like loose. You have to just stay tight the whole time. But we don't have to do this too long. So we have to do just enough so we can finish. So if you get up his hand and I feel like a little bit loose, I get a hold of his hands just like we did before. Stay tight. One move, I can even like look a little bit toward the side, just to help to go there. And then we start doing all this. I got it open, I can go the choke. If it doesn't really open, the hand goes there. Once it open, go the choke. It's a hurry, right? The guy doesn't want to open his neck. The guy knows like you need his neck to finish the match, so everything's just gonna depend on this. I even did like the rear neck choke in the last move and this move because this is a little bit more hurried. So if you go to the choke, we don't try to go all the way across to have this elbow on the line of my chin. I just keep the arm straight on his neck. It's quicker. It's just like a straight choke pulling back. Just remember that's the fastest one. So if you're in a hurry, the guy's not going to open too much. You have to go to straight choke. Let's do that, guys. Guys, I'm not sure exactly like which difficult each one of you felt the most. Like maybe the jump. Some people are having a hard time with the jump. Sometimes the other person's tall. You have to jump higher. Sometimes you feel hard to just stay there. So you have to practice a little more, or maybe you have to finish quick. If you don't want to stay hold yourself on his back too long. But sometimes like your leg is too short. Or maybe the guy's arm is like just too short and they cannot reach there. So that's one thing that we can do. We don't have to do from your feet, but you can practice like from your feet if you feel comfortable. But I have his back, and he was already tucked in. There was a lot of like a grip fighting. I tried beforehand, and it wasn't work. This hand just goes so low. In that point, if you have a chance to grab with the cross hand, once you have the cross hand like that, like this, I don't know if you ever realized his hand is already much lower than before. Now once I push, his hand is like an arm leg on his hip. So that's like much easier to reach for his back. But require like you reach the cross hand. And then sometimes you cannot reach the other hand. Sometimes you have one hand, but then you don't have both hands. So require kind of like a little bit more control, more time to stay there. And that has to be like sometimes they have the cross. If you look too much at the cross hand and then hold this, maybe you can lose the whole thing. But if you already try, it's not working, you cannot really like trap the arm. You can always go to the cross hand. And with the cross hand, you definitely like get your hands, Mateus. Up. I have this. I can go there. And then from there, the one that is underneath, only this is underneath. This is on top. The only one that is underneath, I can push and then I can start walk control. We have his hands over here. I'm going to control the same side that he has his foot on front. I'm going to control his wrist. As soon as I control his wrist, I'm going to step. And as soon as I step, I'm going to go to the arm drag. As soon as I go to the arm drag, I'm not just try hold. I'm not try transition. I'm going to try just pull. And the drag is not just going to come like from my arm, but most like all my weight. So I have this. So my weight is going to just stay straight. My weight is going to kind of make it come forward. At the same time that I come forward, I'm going to start to aim for his leg. So he has that. Go to his leg. I let go his arm. I go to his leg. But if you just go to his leg, maybe he's going to run for you. If I just go to his leg, maybe he's going to run for you. I end up not getting to his leg. So I have to make it kind of away from me. So what I'm doing, I'm kind of foot tripping on the other side. I use my foot to kind of trip him. I don't know if I saw, but as soon as I pull, that foot kind of trip him. He still keeps going. I feel like I can catch a little bit more on time. So look at both wrists. As soon as I get the control from the same side of his leg, I step. As soon as I step, I'm not throwing his arm. I'm dragging him down. I'm dragging down, and I try to catch the other foot. As soon as he passes through me, I cut through his leg. From his leg, I'm going to just finish with like a normal single leg. Run the pipe. So one more time. I have this. That's the try, guys. Guys, the goal is just get to the other person, just to get a hold of him. Maybe if I just take a shot, he will defend it. So I start from here, and then I'll go to the leg. Once he kind of like pulls down, once he kind of get out, so I just go to the leg, right? But if you get to one point, if he's dry and he let you make a very good grip over here, he let you make a very grip on his arm. He didn't pull his arm, and then you were able to really get his hands to touch the mat. That meantime, you make to his back on time. You, instead of going to his leg, you make to his back. And the point is, if you pull his arm and start running, you catch the leg. If you get his hands to touch the floor, before he comes up, you go to his back. So that's the idea. So I look this. So instead of he run, he already starts to come up. Hand goes right away. So if he drop, if he fall, if he get close to you on the ground, if he comes up, put your arms split. Up. If he doesn't go forward, and you know like you have the leg. But if you feel like he fell close to you on the ground, if you feel like he kind of like, you go to his leg. Any more he drops, you don't go to the leg. Any more like he's saying touch the floor, you keep his arm. Because like he didn't pull his arm, so you don't let go of his arm either. Before, I kind of let go of the arm and I just kind of put my hand on the floor. If his hand touches the floor, now I keep his arm, and this hand instead of go to his leg, go over his back. My hand is not touch the floor. The hand that was under his armpit goes over the shoulder, and then obviously stand up. You're probably going to end up kind of tying his back from there. Maybe he rolls with you. Maybe he falls with you on his back. But maybe he's not. He already fell from you. You trip his foot and he just collapses on the floor. Once you climb, maybe you guys just keep rolling. If he's strong, maybe he stand up and you just keep climbing his back. But the idea is like as his weight goes down, You don't go to his leg anymore. You go over the shoulder. Who's on top, guys? Who's on top? Who's on top? Who's getting your back take? Make sure you keep a strong base in case the other person jump over your back. So make sure once you're going to go on your back, keep your hand on the floor. If your hand is not on the floor anymore, keep your leg kind of buried on the ground. Because when he jumps, you don't want to just kind of follow him. So I have this. As I make the seatbelt, I can start work to put the hooks now. Even if I don't put the second hook, I can force it to roll with me and then I get the second hook. Most important, let's get the seatbelt first. As soon as you get the seatbelt, keep your chest lined up with your shoulder and maintain the seatbelt. That's the most important. And then we put the hooks out. Guys, let's work on this. Doesn't matter how you make it a single leg. When I say doesn't matter how, like that. You went from here, there, you end up with a single leg. As we have a single leg, it's one thing to make the single leg, it's another thing to make the other person get on the ground, and it's another thing to make him stay on the ground, right? So you make yourself like to his leg. You were able to make the other person touch his butt, touch his knee on the floor. You just got him down, but not necessarily you hold the person down. And I don't think we need to hold the person down, especially if the other person is strong, or maybe he has a very good takedown. He has a very good takedown because not just because he don't get taken down, he doesn't stay on the ground. So the point is, you make yourself to his leg. As you get the single leg, I'm going to do everything to get their butt on the floor. I'm going to run the fight and get his butt on the floor. But from the single leg, I'm going to really push the leg that I have in front of her. I'm going to step side. The leg that I have behind, I'm going to just step back. Step side and step back. Step side and step back. At the same time that I put a lot of like a shoulder and chest beat. Shoulder and chest beat. Really like this. I'm going to try and make the other leg kind of bend. Try and make that go down, right? So I have this. Single leg. Yeah, good hold. I'm looking to you guys now, but most of the time I cannot keep my head up. I cannot keep my head centered because I can easily get a guillotine. So instead of keep my head down, instead of look away, I'm going to just tuck my chin. If I look away also, I can get like push stuff. It's just hard to keep that. So keep like at least tuck your chin on your shoulder. Just to kind of like prevent something. Instead of working anything down. But we're going to have to work to keep the other person on the ground. But first I want to make sure everybody has like that good run the fight. Let's just try it. Guys, same thing. I make the person leg. I run the fight. And then the person up ball. I run the ball. I run the strike. Get right. And next time I lose. I'm just push the back. So if I have the person leg over here, I run the fight. The person keep bounce. You don't have the reason. You start losing. You get loose. There's an arm that's close to the person's back. There's an arm that's close to the back than the other arm. This one has to go all the way around, this way most like around. So that's the one that's gonna go to the hip. Once it goes to the hip, you still have to hide your head. Doesn't help if you make the person back and you keep your head open. You can easily get a full circle. So hide your head. Keep your head like behind the person. But keep your head behind. But don't be relaxed. I don't know if you guys can tell what I mean. You cannot be relaxed. The first kind of drop the weight. The weight can really crank your neck. Just the person weight over here. Just the person weight over here. Please say lower. Just my weight over here can crank the person's neck. And it's not a good feeling. So if you have the person back, kind of tuck your chin a little bit. Just don't leave your neck kind of open because that can be a situation to let go. You feel like that heart is kind of let go because they're kind of distracting you. So if you have the person's leg over here, start on the fight. If the person not falling, just go around. If the person not falling, if the fight is not falling, get a little bit loose. The person kind of get a little bit like off bound, that'll be the best time. The person doesn't have the reason, but then he got a little balance, a little bit off bound. That'll be the time to just go around. If I have this, I'll move front. Still go behind. As you get this belt, you take a hand, tie your fingers, and just chill. You cannot get too close because you can get also like a takedown, so just the ball. Let's go try this. It's so hot. Guys, so just remember what we just did. Remember like which direction you take to go around the person's back, right? So you don't need to take down the person down as long as if the person defend the takedown, you kind of make to a disadvantaged position. So if I have the leg over here, I run the pipe, and I kind of like make my way around. So remember which side. So imagine you did the same thing, but instead of the person keep their balance up, they fall, but they just get back quick. They fall, and they just get back quick. So you have to just constantly remember, you just have to constantly remember which direction you gotta go. As long as you train to know which direction you're gonna go, you have a very high chance to make the first back same way. Same way. So if I got this, I run the pipe. That's the side I'm going. Remember which arm, the first arm that is gonna make the back. We wanna connect, we still wanna connect the first. We still want to connect to your hand, but you have to know which arm is the closest. You don't want to just reach for the head. You don't want to just stop pummeling. You don't want to just drive over. You want to just kind of reach first. So if I have this leg, that's this go. You put the test, but that's the first thing that goes. But don't think the person's going to stand up looking away from you. That would be too easy. And this happens. People like as a great takedown, but sometimes they just face the ground and they start standing up and they expose the back. A lot of people are going to try kind of at least push your head. Like for example, I go head down, and then like you try and make it up, but they just don't make it. You have to reach, but get out of the person's arm. So whatever is like is pushing you, you just kind of avoid that pressure. Maybe it's going to be the elbow. Maybe it's going to be the hand, maybe it's going to be two hands, whatever it's on your way, you have to get out to make the first back. So remember if the person falls, you don't have to hold it down as long as you keep it to the other person's back. You'll be good to hold the person down. And sometimes the takedown comes from if you get a good takedown, you know you're gonna hold the other person. But sometimes you get a takedown that you don't have much control. So don't fight to hold if you already feel like you don't have control. You almost let the other person stand up as long as you get better control. So sometimes I have a better control, the person not going to stand up right. Why to hold the person down? But sometimes you take the other person down and you know you're losing control. So let go and just kind of switch for the next position. So who is falling now? Let's try. Doesn't matter which leg. As long as you fall. As soon as you fall, stand up. You don't need to turn away. Just stand up. And who's getting the takedown? Keep circling around. And we go back to the same position. You don't have to reach the takedown from there, but just make sure the other person hits. Go. Keep making your way behind. I don't know if you guys saw those. Always a little bit different. So get used to make the other person. As long as you make it around the person's hip, doesn't matter how the other person reacts, just make your way behind. And I'm sure you guys are going to change a lot. Because it depends how the other person kind of fall. Last try, I always make the right side, the closest side. Let's just try that. Guys, sometimes when you break the position, I break the timing of the position. So, I think it was my fault. We broke the position. The last try, just don't wait to the other person. You know what I mean? Everybody will have different reaction, like I said. But as long as you have the same reaction, you're always going to do, doesn't matter what the other person kind of react to. So you practice, you focus, you do what you have to do. And the other person figure it out, if he makes his way up, great. If he doesn't make his way up, you get his back, but you still have his foot on the floor. So let's get used to the other person stand up, and you see there's not much control, that just switch for the next one first as soon as possible. So as soon as you finish the takedown, even if the person didn't stand up, you try to stand up. Even if the person didn't stand up, you just kind of make your way behind the other person. So like front fight. Just make the other person, get used to making the other person's back as soon as possible. If you feel the butt is coming up, if the person doesn't like how it doesn't land or doesn't stay on the floor, you're really like make your way towards the other person's back. So let's try like a make to the clinch the fastest possible, and the other person keep doing whatever you can to just get back up. And who has the back, just stay clenched there. Who falls, try to stand up. But who is doing the takedown, don't wait for the other person to kind of do whatever he has to do. Just don't wait. Just keep going your way around. Let's try, guys. Guys, just so we can kind of like finish the setup. I didn't spend that much time how we begin the setup. You imagine like how you make sure the first leg, but we know once you get to the other perspective, you know what you want to do. You want to get your back and get the finish, right? But as soon that you like you make the other person down, and then you'll not be able to hold this kind of thing up, and it makes you the back. The person doesn't stop going up. The person keep going up, even if you have the person's hip control. The person probably keep going up. And sometimes just come up. And the person has a good control. It's not like always great because you're still gonna have to work hard, you're gonna have to pick it up, you're gonna have to try to the hook, you're gonna be trying like a bunch of things. So if you have a chance, you need to hold the person down with the takedown. But if you have a chance to hold the other person down with your hooks, that's like a plus. And it's because we make a momentum, we watch your position, watch the other, and just keep the stuff, and just kind of make the other person. Let's just keep that momentum. So as soon as you make the other person's back and hip, who has the back tape, keep going up. Keep going up. And who has the back? Who has the back? Keep rocking. Keep rocking. Keep rocking the person like side to side. Keep kind of like make the cannot like they cannot just stand up. Make it kind of keep pulling the person's like a waist, so they have the off balance constant. And in that meantime, as soon as their hand goes to the floor, a hook and sit down comes right over. So as soon as the person loses the first balance, you let go and you just transition to the next position, right? So if I have this, I'm push it back. So it's not just one side or the other. You don't know which side the other person is coming up. You don't know how the other person is coming up. Just keep making him move. Keep making move. I'm not jumping. I'm not jumping on the first leg. I cannot just be like hanging and drive it and breaking the first leg. That's the worst we can have in this condition. You rock push up of the body, you rock the person's arms, and then when the other person loses balance, you go step back. You jump over the back. You look for the seatbelt. One more time. Like this. And then you just make that step. Let's go, guys. I'm too fast to jump, man.
No matter what kind of like lead leg the other person has on front, you have a good control. Depends like what you like to have, you know what I mean? But then if the other person like just gadgets off, you know what I mean? You end up with the other person's leg round firmly because he's not gonna leave his like parallel. And if you have the control of his arm, he's some kind of closer. So if you have some control of this, but then you lose everything, you know what I mean? Like you should never be like empty-handed. You should just get something before he has a chance to reset or start again. Try to take advantage of this. And obviously, like we can extend that much more. Like coming up, he pulls and you just catch but could be already from the ground. You know, you try to sweep, you start pull, and you just go to the leg right in front of you. But that's like a one sequence. I want to build that up something else, something a little bit more complicated. When I say complicated, like not as usual as we go all the time. Because at the same time the other person pull one hand, he can get used to just pull his leg right after as a habit, you know what I mean? Because he felt threatened, you know what I mean? So I have this, I get hold, I go there. As soon as you get at least like get close, you know what I mean? Like and he pulls, and you just complete loss. You go to the other leg. You don't wait till he kind of reset again. You know, you don't have to. Obviously you can, but you don't have to. So you go this, you go there, you just shoot on the other leg. But the only problem, like sometimes the other leg is a little bit farther. I don't know if you guys realize it wasn't right in front of me. I pull, was a little bit farther. So instead of just wait for him, I'm just gonna dive in and shoot forward. That could be really dangerous if you're not thinking ahead. What it means ahead, like I'm committing to his leg, but also I'm fear something could happen. So I kind of have to be very careful about that. For example, I have this, he pulls, I do this, I have to come up, guys. Every time I go to his leg, I have to come up. I cannot just be here and kind of waiting, because now he can sprawl, or maybe he can rotate, you know what I mean? Come back. Come up. Or maybe he can just step over, you know what I mean? You end up in something like this, you know what I mean? So we never want to let that happen. So anytime you go to the second leg, the one that he left on front, you have to come up. So for example, I have this, pull, I go there, I have to come up with the leg. Whatever you catch, the other leg that was left in front of you, just going to stay there. Obviously, like maybe it's not automatic, maybe it takes a little bit more time, but you have to come up with the leg. You go to the second leg, you have to come up. So I have something like this, he pulls, I go this, I go here, I have to come up. I can come up going this way, I can come up kind of going out the way. So as long like I come up with something, we better just reach and stay underneath. So let's make that a habit, and let's not make complicated. Let's not start on your feet. You have this, you get the leg, you go here, you have to come up. When I come up, if I feel comfortable, I can come up from here and just finish as a single leg. If I dive too much, I can come up from here and I still have a single leg. And obviously, like how we're gonna finish that depends how fast the move happens. Depends like how balanced you caught him. Because when you come up with someone like that, maybe his hand goes straight to the ground. Maybe like he goes, his hand goes straight to the ground, and he just continues from that. But let's not break the position. As soon as you lost something, just go to another. And it's a good habit to just come up when you go to the second leg, because he's still not expecting. You know, you got his leg, maybe he's preparing something, but then you don't wait over there. Right? That's what I guess. Guys, let's just connect like something else that we can miss. You end up, you got control, you lost, the leg is still kind of like close. If the leg is not that close, you shouldn't dive for it. If it's too far. But if the leg is still here and you can connect like a movement, if you can continue the motion, that's the best, because like he's still hurry about like what is the last move and he just defend. And if you have a chance to connect another one, you may be catching by surprise. And obviously, like if someone tough, you have to catch him by surprise. Don't think you can let him know before what you're gonna do. He's never gonna give it to you. So it's always better if you can just connect one move after the other. Obviously, like a move that you always know what comes after. You know? So he pulls, you catch, I dive here, If something happens, and then I come up, guys, and as soon as I come up, his hands go down. His hands go down. I have no single leg, guys. From here, I'm already start aiming for his back. I have no this. Like I'm not caring about his leg anymore. His hand goes down. I have to clinch. I come up. He falls with his hand on the neck. I'm already start imagining like I have no vision for his back here, guys, but I know that's what I'm going for. And obviously, like I'm just talking about, like we have to connect the next move. Before he sees, before he adjusts himself. So you come up with his leg. I'm kind of the back door. You go to his hip. From his hip, I'm already preparing the hooks. When I say preparing the hooks, like I don't jump straight, guys. I don't jump like something like that. No. The straight could end up in something like this. So as soon as you have this, I'm getting closer to my favorite side. Could be this. I'm getting close to my favorite side, but I'm still jumping. I'm not just walking to his side because maybe that could take a little longer. When I say a little longer, it's very little. That could make a difference. So as soon as I get that, I go a little bit to the side and I jump. Jump, guys. Let's try exercise the jump. The first is gonna have the hand on the mat. You can easily step and mount on him, you know what I mean? But he shouldn't be waiting for you. And that's the whole difference. I jump right there. Obviously, the lower the person are, less you have to jump, right? If it's higher, if it's taller, if it's something like this, if it's coming up, you gotta jump. Obviously, I don't know if you guys realize, Scott kind of fell with his knees on the mat, got very low, so there's not even jump. I just kind of slide over and connect the back. So, but if you get a little higher, I pull and come up. You have to make the jump. The jump is not both hooks. The jump is to make the seatbelt. I make the seatbelt. I have the seatbelt. I can manage the hook. You come up. Can manage out the hook. I can roll him. Start work the hooks later. The jump is to make the seatbelt. From the seatbelt, you put the hooks after. Obviously, you can do everything at once as long as you don't miss the seatbelt because you want to put the hooks. Because the seatbelt guarantees the hooks later. The hooks doesn't guarantee you the seatbelt. It doesn't guarantee you control. You can put the hooks, but it doesn't mean you're going to have the control. I can easily say that. I'm sorry. I can easily. And then he rolls. And then I'm like, lose everything. So the hooks doesn't control him. The seatbelt controls him. So that's why I want to bring that up. So you put the seatbelt and then you put the hooks. Right out.